G'day crafty chums, and welcome to drawvember number 7. This is my 7th drawing for drawvember. And so just do a quick review. So the first drawing I did was the feather. The second drawing I did was a peg. A pig, which actually came out really quite well actually. Much better than I thought it was going to. And then drawing number 3 was the bird, and it's okay, it's just it's a little bit light, that's all. And I've got a drawing there come through. I know what's happened. I know what's happened there. This is the drawing of the bell, and I did the bell on the cat, and where I pressed on the bell, it's transferred the graphite from the cat onto the thing. So I need to seal the pussycat, because when I'm popping down, so I'm just going to use some hairspray, some fixative, and hopefully that will fix the graphite on there then, and it won't come off onto the other page again. So that's the drawing of the bell, and this is the drawing of the man, which in the end I was quite pleased with that one too. And that's charcoal, and I have sprayed some hairspray on there, so we'll see how that goes as we do it. I might pop some on here too, just in case that's going to come off. And I better let that dry before I just flip over again, hadn't I? Otherwise otherwise that will affect that one there. So I better dry it off, hadn't I? Okay, so we've got force 9 winds, gale force 9 winds at the moment, but we're being actually pressed on to the pontoon, so it will still be movement, but there shouldn't be too much. And this is forecast to stay with me now until, let's see, and for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So gale force winds for 5 days, which will be pretty yuck. But because of the direction the wind's in, though, it's and it's not tugging at the we've got a line out midships and bow line to help keep us off the pontoon, and at the moment it's not jerking on the lines, so that's good. We're being pressed steadily onto the pontoon. The winds are pretty consistent, and then every so often we'll get a huge gust coming in, which is the one that does all the damage. That's the one that usually jerks the lines and make everything fall over. But anyway, so what am I going to draw today? I've just got a piece of ribbon, and I just thought I'd just wobble it and pop it down, and you probably won't be able to see that totally if I move it, come in a little bit. But of course I've got a different view from what you have there. So anyway, but that's what I'm going to draw. I just thought I'd make it a quick one. I don't really want to be hanging around while the boat's moving into that, because it will become pretty uncomfortable pretty fast. So I'm just going to get in some of these beautiful curvy lines that I've got going on here with the ribbon. Got another one coming round. This one comes down. Don't get all of it. Comes back up again. You might hear creaking of lines in that, but it's not hugely creaky. Just a little bit. Put it that I might be able to see that there, but actually I can't, so That one needs to go up and that one needs to come out because I don't have that view that I'm pretending to put in there. Be grunting again because, as I say, for some reason I find drawing and talking really difficult. And I appreciate all of those of you who can do it. Okay, so the that tail of that one there has come through there, and maybe I should have done this actually in pen, ink, you know. And that comes out there like that. Oh. Don't know whether you can hear the rain, but along with the wind, so there is rain. And the rain's coming down quite heavily as well, of course, because the wind's blowing it. So this will be a good one to put shadow and shade in actually, if I'm not going to pen it. And now I've just got to adjust a few lines because I haven't quite got it right. It's a good one actually for following, just for following lines, and yeah, because it's you may think it's quite easy, but it's a lot harder than it looks actually. Yeah. Won't be a minute. Okay, so back, it's my husband texting me he's had to go to his mum's because she was in the supermarket the other day and she got targeted by a gang of thieves and they stole her handbag, her money, her house keys. She had her passport on her because she was going to the bank to do something at the bank and had to have identification with her, and so they had got her passport as well and her address, and oh, what a nightmare. So so he's just had to go to his mum now. She's in her 80s, bless her, and and of course she's finding it difficult to cope with all the things that she needs to do. The police were really good and they stayed with her and got her locks changed on her house, sent a patrol car out overnight. I mean, they did really great community policing, and cancelled all her cards and etc. And her cards were tried in an ATM, but they targeted her outside the store when she withdrew some money from the ATM. So there was a gang of them hanging around the ATM. They must have thought they'd seen her her codes for her cards, and they followed her in the store and stole her handbag and that. But you know, but she's in her 80s and she's finding it difficult to cope with the shock of it, and then having to deal with all the people she has to deal with now to get her passport renewed, to get her driving license renewed, to get some more, you know, all her cards reinstated, and all the, you know, the AA that she belongs to. I mean, it's just a huge thing. And yeah, so my husband's gone to be with her to help her until he's sorted all the admin out for her. And as well as the police changed the locks on the doors, but now he's going to put in some window locks for her as well, because of course the thieves know where she lives, they know she's on her own. You know, it's just one huge nightmare for her. Yeah, so he's just texted me now just to say all the things he's got to be doing, just so he knows, just so that I know he's not going there for fun. Hang on, so just got to go again. Okay, so I'm going to let it go because he's obviously going to chat for me to it, and I really want to just finish this, so you'll hear the phone beeping and that. So I've got a line here that I've put in there, and it just doesn't exist. So I don't know what I was thinking there. I was imagining it, but it's actually not there. What is there though is that this one here isn't quite right. This one here, it comes from under here, so it comes from underneath that bit there and goes up, and this one disappears sort of like there. This one is resting on it, and this one here is like that. So yeah, sometimes you've got to really look, and then because you'll be putting in lines that that aren't really there, so you know, your brain takes over a little bit. Your brain takes over what your eye is seeing, so you got to like pull it back. Pull it back because it wasn't really there. So and this bit here doesn't quite come out like that, it goes more like that, and this line doesn't disappear up here, actually it disappears here, unless of course while the boat's been moving a bit it's moved itself. So that one comes up here, so we get more like it, and that one goes there. So I'm actually getting more now, it's starting to look more like it does in front of me, and this is just a matter now of refining and taking out the bits that my brain is telling me is there, but it's actually not there when I'm looking at it from here. So so it's quite amusing. This is an amusing exercise. I think that the ribbon has moved slightly as well from the motion of the boat. And of course I've got an outrageous loop here, which would make, if I don't alter that, then it would make the ribbon thicker in that place, but of course obviously it's not, it's all like one width all the way. I'm going to also now start putting in some shading too. So yeah, so my poor mother-in-law, what a thing to go through at her age. There are some really sick people out there who just think that they're entitled to anything that they set their eyes on. I mean, just like, when you start attacking older people as well, shock sets in for them, and some old elderly people, when they're attacked and things, the shock can actually kill them. So, because it does something to their confidence as well. You know, they start losing confidence in being able to go out and about and feeling safe. So yeah, and the fact that they knew now know where she lives and everything else, I mean, that makes you feel unsafe in your own home. It's just awful. You really want to, you know, I don't know, you really want to be able to catch up with them and just give them a good seeing to. And by that I don't mean physical, I mean necessarily, if it happened to them, one of their family, I'm sure they'd feel totally different about what they're doing. Oh, I don't know. I don't know whether they would or whether they wouldn't. That's just me wishful thinking her. So I'm just putting in some shading now, and I am, rather than what I think it should be, I am actually trying to go what I can see in front of me, where some of the shading is. I'm not going to go into all of it because I don't feel the need to, because I don't want this to be like something that goes on for hours and hours. But quite often, if you're looking for where shading is, if you sort of half close your eyes to it, then you can see the difference in colours and things. So quite often that's a help. It's a horrible line there, isn't there? And I've got to make this one thinner as well. This little bit here is actually not flat, it's slightly off the surface, and I'm not sure whether I'll be able to show that really well, but it is. Ferries have actually stopped running as well, so I don't know when they'll be back on again, because the wind's too strong, and so it's actually stopped the ferries going in and out. There's been some little boats come in as well, sheltering. There was one little boat that went out this morning, and he had a fully reefed mainsail and no head sail out, so that shows you how strong the wind was. And 20 minutes later he came back in, so obviously it's much rougher out than even I'm imagining it is. But there's nothing there. I was going to colour in, I was going to shade in there, but there's actually nothing there. And that's what happens. That was my mind telling me that there was something there, and there actually isn't. While I was talking. So this was lifting off as well, so if I just try and put some shading here, it might show that it's lifted off. I can see a really faint shadow there as well. And there's some shadow here. And there's a darker shadow here. And I think the ribbon has definitely moved, because I had a section here which I can no longer see. That's strange. So I'm going to leave it now, because obviously the motion of the boat is just making the ribbon move a little bit around, and I'm losing, actually losing quite quickly. I'm losing the angle of everything, so yeah. So I'm going to leave that now. I'm going to call that done. Another sketch. Hope you liked it. See you again soon. Bye.